right, everybody, welcome to this episode of Staggered Stance. Per usual, I forgot what the episode number was, and you just told me, Josh, episode 252. 252. Yes. Welcome to this live edition of Staggered Stance. We're always doing this live. We record live every time. We don't cut or edit anything.
Yes.
So we're stoked to be here at Worcester's. Really, it's the farm league for the Boston Red Sox. Their stadium here in Cincinnati,
Woo Sox, baby.
Woo Sox.
Let's go
And
Sox.
We're at Polar Park today. We're really excited to be here. We do have some people in person actually listening, our biggest fans. I shout out to them. And then we have other people who are just nearby, just getting the feel of it as they come near. Yeah, see smiles. We're happy to bring smiles. No sad faces today. Per usual, this episode and all episodes of Staggered Stance are presented by TitanDiscGolf.com. If you haven't checked them out, they have a great, super large inventory, over 30,000 unique discs, including unique ones that you can't find anywhere else. Once you start clicking through each of their discs, you're going to find one that you want that nobody else has. I can almost promise you that. I have a lot of discs, and I still found some there that I wanted. So shout out to TitanDiscGolf.com. Free shipping over $75. Definitely visit them. It's easy. TitanDiscGolf.com. All right, here we are at Polar Park. This is our lead-in show to the MVP Open, the second playoff event of the year. 2024-2025 season. We just came out of GMC's playoff event. We have a lot of players here today. We're going to interview Paige Pierce, Gavin Babcock, Paul McBeth, and we're going to bring you hopefully some interesting things from them, as well as some of our takes for Pop, Drop, Lock, and we'll kind of analyze what that looks like.
Yep.
Yeah, can you believe we're already at, like, here we are in Worcester, which is right next to Leicester, famed Maple Hill MVP Open. Can't believe we're at this point in the season. We're 22 events in. Like, the year flies by. It's almost over. Final playoff event. Lots of storylines this year. We've had 11 MPO winners this season. We have had, do you think we've had more or less FPO winners?
Has to be more, right? Has to be.
Less.
More.
Of course, they've actually even had an extra event, right? U.S. Women's. Yep. But they actually have less winners.
Oh.
There's 10 FPO winners. In MPO this year, there were 4 first-time winners. Can you name one? Ben?
Denver.
Wrong.
Oh, wait,
Ezra
first-time
Robinson.
winners.
Yes. Ezra Aderhold, Maury Villman. How about Ben Calloway, who's been out there grinding?
Ben.
All right, in FPO, how many first-time winners this year? More or less than 4?
Less than 4.
Yes.
Silver Siren?
No.
No.
She won a lot last year.
Said how many first-time?
Yeah, first-time winners this year in FPO. It is Cadence
Burge.
That's it.
Oh.
That's it.
I was just going to start counting.
Wow,
I knew
that's
Cadence was one.
I mean, we could have some stats people comment and tell me where I got it wrong. I've actually had quite a few stat flubs this year, but nobody's called me out on all of them.
Kearns, we miss you.
And shout out, we just met Edwin Stats in person. You guys see him in the chat sometimes. He is a local to Massachusetts, and he came by and said hello. So.
Yes, which was awesome. We're not like recapping because, again, we're going to get right to interviews here in just a moment. But what a year. Like, this is not the end of the year like show, but still, what a year. I mean, storylines, jumping right to it. Kristen Lott, did she retire? I don't know. We're not going to debate that here, but temporary retirement at least.
Future episode.
Yep. Paige Pierce continues her yearly winning streak. How about, like, Ricky Wysocki's on the verge of trying to continue a yearly streak?
He has won
Yeah.
two events left.
Two events left to try to keep that.
Dependent on when this comes out, my prediction is that he doesn't play MVP Open.
I've seen an ankle.
He might be here today, so we can ask him personally.
Grade 2 ankle sprain? That looks bad. Ricky's had a tough stretch.
Not grade 2.
What is it called?
Was it grade 2?
No, according to his social media.
Sorry. I thought I saw.
I haven't seen the social media post yet.
I thought you confused CeeDee Lamb with Ricky. That's why, because CeeDee Lamb has a grade 2 ankle sprain.
I don't know. I saw a pretty blown up picture of Ricky's ankle.
Anyways,
he
misses his tee time. I did finally get the scoop on that. Maybe everybody did. It was literally just a tee time miscommunication. He thought he was a different tee time. That's a whole nother segment that we could talk about, but that's what happened. Literally just thought he had a different tee time. So
interesting. So again, I'm just saying various points before we kind of move on. After breaking the yearly win streak last year, Paul McBeth comes back with 2 wins.
And he's here. We're gonna
talk to him. How about Gannon Burr and Missy Gannon take down the World Games. That's not something we talk about a lot, but it's a pretty unique experience. It sounds like it was pretty awesome for them. Gannon Burr finally wins Worlds. It's funny to say finally for somebody who's that young.
New to the sport.
But he wins Worlds, continues to dominate, probably setting his eyes at the end of the season here. Holland Handley and FPO start strong. What do you think? Like, I feel like it seems like there's been a little bit of a fade. I don't know if the stats quite show that, but interesting. And then how about Owen Scoggins? Unbelievable.
FPO World Champs.
And wins FPO World Champs and Masters.
How many
World
people
Champs in the same year?
Did she win Ledgestone or is that no?
What?
Did she win after Worlds?
No, that was Worlds. No.
She's won after Worlds.
I thought she did. Did she?
Oh, has she won an event?
Yeah, after Worlds. I thought she won one more.
Wait.
I was
not
talking about
Ledgestone. She went to playoff with Valerie.
Oh.
And Valerie hit it. Then you have Idlewild.
Doing Idlewild.
Right?
Yeah.
It's been a while. I've been off of a few episodes.
That's what it was. Okay, so she's been on fire recently. That's what I was trying to say. It was Idlewild.
And she's been in contention almost every event. I'm curious over under on percentage picked for Pop Drop Walk this week. We'll look at it afterwards, and we will make our picks. But Josh, I think we're pretty close and ready. Gavin Babcock, everybody, he's coming up. We're gonna make a seat for you. We hear in the background Steve Dodge welcoming people to the disc golf day at Polar Park. So we are excited to have. It's fun, right? Hearing this, it's talking over our shoulder.
Sounds the same over here than it does over there.
We need to put on headphones just so we can hear each other. Hopefully it's a better experience for the recorded audience. So, Unified Dream, Steve Dodge is yelling. Perfect. All right. So, we're going to hear cheering in just a second for Gavin Babcock. So, we brought Gavin in here today. Gavin, I talked to you a little bit the other day. We were doing a practice round. Not, like, me, an actual competitive, try to beat my best score round, which for you is like, Matt, I'm just throwing a couple discs, having a good practice round. And I asked you, like, what has the journey been like for you in this pro scene? Because from my perspective, it feels like you've been around a while, and especially last year and this year, you've really made like a top 20 type field player. Like, that's consistently you. What was your journey like? Did you start out as an 800 rated player?
Yeah, so the first ever rating, I played my first tournament actually at Pickard Park where the Des Moines Challenge is held, and my first rating I got was 843, and after played the first year in rec, ended at a little over 900. I think I was like 915 rated, and then, or 905, and then the second year I decided to play intermediate, jumped up to 935. Third year played advanced, jumped up to 955. Fourth year decided to just play open locally, and by the end of the year jumped up to 970 and 985 the year after, 1,000 the year after. So it's kind of like a 15 to 20 point jump year after year of just grinding it out. And then I kind of hit a stalemate at 1,000 to like the teens for probably like 2-3 years, and then finally crested that 1020 mark. And then last year hit 1030 for the first time and kind of just stayed right up in there. Once I kind of felt like I improved my backhand a little bit and made some consistency changes on the putting green.
So what I hear you saying is there's a chance for him to just keep grinding.
Yeah, Ben, you got all the skills you need. You just got to put in the time and effort.
I'm just, obviously we like Ben from intern Ben Till now doing everything he's doing. He's bigger than the show. Back to you. So would you describe last year as your best year, or is this year your best year?
It's kind of weird because last year I definitely had higher finishes at just like normal disc golf pro tours and stuff. This year I have a couple better major finishes, and I think I've only miscashed twice. So this year's been much more consistent on just like a lot of like couple top 10s and a lot of like top 15, top 20s. But yeah, last year definitely had some higher performances, which we still got a couple this year to cap off on a good note. But so I think last year was definitely like hotter, but this year's a little bit more consistent for sure.
Yeah, well, like
feels
you said,
that way.
Yeah, well, like you said, this year's not over because actually last year, I think your best finish all time at Elite Series events was at MVP Open, 3rd place.
Yep.
Is there anything specific to this course that you look forward to where you think you're going to repeat that type of performance, or was that just grinding it out and that's when you broke through?
No. So I'd realized I'd never really played good at Maple Hill before, and then last year I was like kind of breaking down the course, and I was like, I don't know why I've never played good. It fits my game perfectly. It's like all the backhands are just power driver shots where even if you aren't like as accurate, like you can still birdie just like hole 1, 11, 14. Like they're all backhand driver shots, and the rest are just solid forehands. And I mean, as long as I'm putting good, I think I'm going to score well. And yeah, I mean, I get to throw a lot of sidearms out there. So any place that has that lined up for me, I think suits me pretty well.
So I want to go back a little bit. You talked about your trend, and you were going through rating, but in 2021, now average finishes don't tell the whole story, right? Because an average literally like only tells you average of the numbers, but still there's something here. Year by year for the last 5 years, 57th average, 49th average, 47th average, 27th average, and then this year also still averaging about 27th with 2 events left. And again, you could improve on that with 2 solid finishes. So that's over 5 years. Where do you feel like is your trajectory still moving? Do you feel like you talked about plateauing a little bit with like ratings, but I think you've still had some improvement, like just from a career standpoint, 5 years in, another 5 years. Is that your plan to grind and continue to like move up the ranks?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, as from like an athlete perspective, I wrestled for 15 years, and honestly, right around that year 14, 15 was like kind of when my peak performance started kind of showing. And I've always kind of been like a slower, just like grinder, just hard worker, put in. I mean, nothing's ever really come easy to me. And so as I've been figuring out the game and where exactly I need to improve and then how to specifically improve that for my style of throw and game and make it make sense in my head, I have a lot left to grow still, and I think the best years are still yet to come.
Is grinding repetition for you, or are there things you're constantly tweaking? Is that the grind?
A little of both. You got to be careful with constantly tweaking stuff, otherwise the muscle memory is just not going to ever really kick in. But I think being constantly aware of what is lacking, how to kind of maintain that and improve it in a slow and steady way. But more so, I think what's helped me these last couple of years is really trying to slow everything down. I just can get pretty amped up and just want to do things like quick and just rep them out. But it's more important to get the right reps at a slower pace than it is to just power through bad reps and just ingrain that wrong muscle memory.
All right, one more. You got married this year, actually 2025, or was it
this year, June 20th?
How has that changed things for you?
Well, I got my first top 10 the week after being married. So
there you go.
So
shout out to the wife.
Yeah, shout out the wife.
Wonderful.
But no, it's been good. I mean, obviously, it's hard to get married and then go right back on the road. I mean, I miss her and my dog every day and being around family and stuff. So it's yeah. I mean, it's a grind. I'm super thankful for her support and just allowing me to live out my dream and just kind of sticking with me through all the tough times, the rough rounds, and just being my number one supporter. So shout out Kennedy Babcock.
Shout out Kennedy.
Yeah.
And then last one from me is looking forward. Like I didn't research. I apologize. Like your contract deals, all that stuff, like things that could come up down the road. Are you tight-lipped? Do you have big plans for the future? Like what might be happening there? Because right now you're sponsored by
Discmania right now. I don't know. I don't know what. I don't know what this offseason. My contract's up this year, and I mean I like where I'm at, but I'm also just kind of open to anything, and yeah, very, very interested for what might come this offseason. So I really no specific plans, kind of open to whatever. And
you can give us something to talk about, though. That's what, maybe it's re-signing, but you give us something to talk about. We appreciate that.
Yeah, haven't talked to anyone about anything for next year so far. Right. So who knows?
Right. Focusing on these next 3 events, practically speaking, right?
Yeah.
If you win, who knows? You got some bargaining.
Yeah. Is that the plan, right? Yeah.
Awesome. Is there anything from anybody else? All right, we missed anything that you want to announce?
Think so.
No?
Nope.
Not like, hey, I'm going to win this week, or no, you don't make predictions.
Pick me for hold your bag.
Oh, okay. In our game, pop, drop, lock.
Pop, drop.
Pick him as a lock. You're a top 10 for sure. All right, that's a lock. All right, everybody. Gavin Babcock, give him a round of applause. We're going to bring up another guest here in a minute. Thanks, Gavin. For those of you walking off after, I think it was the GK Pro Skins, we're going to be bringing on Paige Pierce if you'd like to listen in on that interview, and then Paul McBeth following that. So stick around if you want. Paige, come on up. Welcome to the stage, Paige Pierce, everybody.
The Paige stage.
Awesome. First of all, I hope I'm not overstating that you're a friend of mine. I've known you a while. Yeah, good. She's
Long
like,
time.
yeah, we can confirm.
Time.
Like, you don't
It'd
have to
be awkward
confirm
if she
friends.
said not really. But.
Yes.
She's like,
Maybe.
You don't have to confirm friends, but when we just talk disc golf from like a formal standpoint, sometimes it feels like you're removing it as a friend because we're talking about you. You know that feeling.
Yeah,
or,
for
you
sure.
know, from your
Sure.
perspective.
The microphone and cameras and lights, everything's kind of different, you know?
Yeah,
But
exactly.
yeah.
So you've done a lot with us back in the day with junior events. You've won a lot of world championships. You've seen success. You've seen failure. Over, I think it's 15 years now, you've won. This is what was just accomplished, right?
Yeah.
So tell us about that. Was that even on your radar? Like, oh, I hope I get one this year. Like, and then obviously you won. So just tell us about that.
Yeah, I mean, it was in my head for sure that I've won a major every year for the last little bit, but then I think it was last year I didn't win a major. So that kind of wasn't in my head anymore because it for me it was thinking of majors, but then it's like Elite Series or higher. So that feels good to keep that streak alive for sure, obviously, and just kind of shows my longevity and my determination and like never quit kind of attitude. But yeah, it wasn't really on my mind. The main focus for me last week was moving up in the tour standings. I knew that I had Cat Merch, Cadence Burge, and Val Mandujano right above me, and that they were all within striking range heading into the tour championships. So I was just thinking, put together a good tournament and jump above them, hopefully in the standings. But the win did both. Got the win and kept the streak alive and jumped me up.
We're going to be talking to Paul McBeth in a minute, and it doesn't put you in an awkward place to talk about somebody else. You guys have been competing at a high level for so long. The news, like, titles were like Paul and Paige went. Like, it felt, people were saying, like, welcome back to 2015 or whatever.
What year is it? I kept seeing that, yeah.
So from a fan's perspective, it was a little bit nostalgic in a way, but you winning, and we're going to ask him this too, like, you haven't completed your time in disc golf yet. Like, you're like, this is just part of the game now, to take time not winning.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's cool, you know, seeing those headlines is cool. And I think it's also like, you know, you have the people that are like, they call themselves like COVID babies or whatever, and they join the sport COVID on. And those people never saw me in my heyday. So it's cool to have both Paul and I winning the same event, not just because, you know, Discraft strong, but also throwing it back, you know, and showing that we have the longevity, we have the skills still, and we can do it. And also kind of gives like a little nod to all the people that have been fans of ours for such a long time.
One more question from me. I asked this to Paul, and I put you guys on the same type of pedestal in my head for FPO, MPO, and I'm interested to hear your answer is, do you feel like you could keep up with Paige Pierce of, let's say, what you felt like was your prime, when you were winning worlds all the time? Do you feel like today, if she came and played you today, are you better today?
Interesting question.
Yeah.
I was listening to your press conference with Paul, and you asked him that, and I was thinking about that for myself. I've been thinking about that for the last like hour or two. I don't know. I think that Paige had less scar tissue. I think that Paige had less pressures, and yeah, was also just a little more naive and not paying attention to other outside things. So I think that Paige had a little bit of an advantage just based on like less things going on in the brain. Just frisbee, throw straight, throws far, hit putt, you know. And this Paige is like thinking about my future children and my retirement fund. And, you know, it's a lot harder mentally as this Paige. I don't know. I feel like I'm throwing better shots than I ever have. I feel like I'm less consistent, maybe.
So all of that was insightful. And then the actual skill side of it, you think maybe you're throwing at least as good or better.
Yeah, I think the shots that come out of my hand, I'm still impressing myself. I think I'm throwing better shots. I just think they're fewer. They're more spread out. I think I throw more errant shots than I once did. But that's the fear and the scar tissue built up over time, right? You've played Maple Hill 15 years now. You know where the worst spots to be are. You know, oh, do not go left over there. That is absolutely double bogey land. So, and when that happens, like, you're just more inclined to have that reservation, and it's harder to focus on the shot at hand when you're thinking about what could go wrong.
That's funny you say that. I've often said I can play a new course blind sometimes better than an old course that I'm familiar with.
For sure.
Because of the
Absolutely.
fears. You just see the basket. I just got to throw there. You don't have any bad history.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Interesting take. Any other question?
Well, I think you kind of hit on it, and I was already like thinking through this. 15 years is a long time. It doesn't mean we're getting older, but 15 years is a long time. And you were just kind of talking about it. You said scar tissue. That only comes with time, right? Thinking about different life, like think how much your life has evolved in 15 years. It was just curious, like disc golf is life is kind of like that saying, but for you, life has expanded a lot. You're living in different places, probably different goals. You talked about retirement, married, like so never mind the scar tissue and the particular things, but has your overall perspective or approach to the game like changed? Has that evolved over 15 years? Maybe even off the course, just like what you see, what you're doing, what you're trying to accomplish.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, definitely. Many, many times in 15 years. So it was just so carefree and just throw the shot, throw the fun shot, throw the good shot. Then it was, okay, everyone thinks I'm just like willy-nilly just ripping shots. Maybe I should try to be a smart golfer. And then it was turned into, okay, what's the smart decision? And I found myself for a while laying up putts or you know, clubbing down off the tee and just trying to keep it on the fairway. But I found myself struggling more often than not when I was playing smart golf. And I think there's still time and place to do that, to lay up putts. But if you're playing for par and you mess up, bogey's on the line. If you're playing for birdie and you mess up, you know, you could still save par. So I found myself having better success, not just pitching out of the fairway, but at least trying to get forward progress and trying to play for birdie. And there are still certain situations where I know I have a weakness on that shot, and I might still play the smart golf. But yeah. So anyway, to answer your question, yes, I've definitely evolved over time for sure, and I think I'll continue to do so.
Yeah, well, it'll be interesting for us to watch because those who have watched have seen that evolution in the sport, and to say you're still at the top of the game getting wins is really impressive. And I think that is a testament. We use the word grind, which can mean a lot of things, but like you have been out there and balancing life with disc golf, even though they're probably like one and the same for you in many ways.
Yeah, I mean, also too, like on the business side of it too, like I feel like 5 years ago, maybe we'll call it 7 years ago, I was, I mean, honestly, probably working harder behind the scenes than on the course, emails and phone calls. And I mean, I'm on the phone 20 calls a day, future things, you know, setting up certain things. And I think nowadays I'm less so involved on that. I think a lot more of my focus is on the course. And I think that goes, it's tough because a lot of people say, hey, during COVID, like I got into your YouTube videos and this and that, and I haven't posted a YouTube video in years, you know? And it's, yeah. I did have fun doing it for sure, but it does take away from your practice. I think, you know, I don't want to worry about this tripod. Did it get that shot? Oh no, should I go get it again? When I'm on the course, I'm trying to practice, and but also being mindful that is something that when I have an interaction with a fan, they really, really emphasize how much my videos mean. So, you know, thinking about that in the off season is something I'm thinking about. You know, I want to stay strict on my practice regimen and really focusing on my practice, but also still make those calls and write those emails and do those videos on the off season.
So you've never been one to shy away from talking positively about FPO players. I've talked about this many times. You would go out of your way to feature videos and all of that about your competitor friends. Comment to me about the dynamic between seeing Owen Scoggins performing like she is, and then somebody like Ida Letzamaki who came in and did what she did. And then we see like a playoff between someone who's 40 plus and then someone who's like, 16 under. So like, what does this look like in your mind? Like when you see it, you've been around it so long. Like, is that exciting? Is it what?
Absolutely. If you weren't excited, like, I don't know what you're doing. You weren't paying attention. So yeah, I mean, it's inspiring in both ways. It's inspiring to the kids in the middle schools that UPlay's going to or that Edge is going to, and they're teaching these kids for the first time. It's like, hey, there's a 16-year-old that almost just won the world championships. And at the same time, there's the people that say, man, I wish I would have started when I was your age. And I just started at 40. And it's like, hey, Owen's 44 and she just won world. So I think both sides of that coin are super inspiring and just show you that age is just a number. And it's more about just the practice routine and the belief in yourself. And that disc golf just caters to so many different body types, age ranges, and everything in between.
Are you saying, and I think you're saying it's inspiring for all, but from you as a person, when you see that, are you like, oh, I've got 10 more years left too? You know, like, are you thinking, hey, look at this, maybe I go till I'm 50? I don't know.
For sure. I mean, when I had my first like big moment, it was 2010, playing against Liz Carr and Val Jenkins, and I was 19, so almost winning then, that was inspiring for me to be like, okay, they're like, I didn't even know how old they were, to be honest. I wasn't asking, but it's like, okay, wow, they're way older than me. Like, they're treating me like a kid, and like, cool. If I keep going and I keep going to when I'm their age, like, I could be really cool. And yeah, it's like, it just goes to show you, like, just work hard and continue and stay determined and stay pushing. And yeah, it's super inspiring for sure.
Awesome.
Aww.
Ben, do you think of anything? We've left you out. Not true.
No, I mean, no, I don't.
I
Sorry,
put
I
him
got
on the
distracted
spot.
saying bye.
Simon walked by. So anything from any of the rest?
Yeah.
Go ahead, Nick.
We've been talking about your kind of career span, let's say over 15 years, but I got a little recency bias because we just had an incredible win at GMC. And realistically, we don't have to talk about all 4 rounds, but going down into 18, shot skips off the bridge. Your adrenaline's probably all over the place. For the playoff, you didn't even take the golf cart. You just ran back up the hill. But talk to us about those moments and kind of the feelings that you're getting from those, whether you talked about you've been making more errant upshots than normal, and you're in a position to where it's, 1, I get to push a playoff, and then 2, you have a chance to win the event. Just talk to us about the mentality going into those last 15, 20 minutes, realistically.
Yeah, making the birdie on 17 and being 1 back. I knew they were tied, 1 ahead of me. I knew I needed a birdie to force a playoff. I'm not thinking they're going to bogey, or if they do, not both of them. Definitely not both of them. So I know birdie forces playoff, possibly, unless one of them birdies. So I have to play for birdie. So I just decide to just full send 1. And just thinking, like, put a lot of hyzer on it, and I'm glad I did. It got the skip. I actually didn't know that it got the skip, but until after, but I was just stoked that it was in bounds, and I was way far down there, so I had the advantage of seeing what they did first. And Missy did get herself into range. I didn't know if she was going to take that putt or lay it up. It kind of depended on what happened, but yeah, so she got herself to, like, I want to call it like 40 feet, maybe a little outside the circle. So just putting it close and letting her putt first. If she misses, then I have the chance to force the playoff. And doing so, then, I'm kind of speeding this up, but getting the playoff, finding out it's hole 18 again, realizing, okay, I just saw what the shot looked like. I just felt what the shot felt like. It was a little bit more closer than I wanted it to be. Not knowing again about the bridge, but let's put a little bit more hyzer, trust the same power, trust the same disc, trust the same width, but more hyzer angle. And yeah, just feeling like, okay, I know what it feels like. Just do it again, more hyzer, and get myself down there again. I didn't know what the order was going to be or anything like that. So that was out of my control. But no, making the decision, regardless of if I was first, second, or third, and sticking with that, and just this showing, I think in some ways it's a chess game for sure. And I think me choosing to throw the same shot, and if that shot does land in bounds, and I therefore am farthest up again, I have advantage. They know that I'm likely going to take that birdie, and it forces them into an uncomfortable shot. So I love disc golf because it's such a physical thing, and it's all this hours and years and decades worth of field work and knowing your discs and knowing your muscle memory, but it's also comes down to chess and the strategy part. So it was so much fun, and regardless of which way that went, it's just exciting thinking ahead, seeing what happens, and then seeing if you can execute in the moments.
Yeah, definitely having the kind of power that you have, giving you the advantage of more than likely going to be the last one to throw that upshot. And so you've seen what everyone else has already done. Someone might have gone OB, Missy leaves at 40, 45 short. And for you, it just kind of puts you in the best position to be able to do what you need to do and do it best. So
also in a scary way, like knowing, okay, Missy's OB and Owen's got a 45 footer.
Yeah.
Knowing, okay, cool, I could do it, but also that adds to the nerves for sure.
Yep. Be like, look, they're in bad positions, so now I have to be in a good position.
Don't blow it. Don't
blow it here. Yeah, exactly. Nah, congratulations. It was incredible to
Ben
watch.
came up with one.
No, I was distracted by Emmett, but I do have one. So this is your first Elite Series win. You good this year? What was clicking this event that you felt that maybe has been missing from other events? And I do have a question. You were down 6 going into the final round. How did you attack that course? Were you going ultra aggressive? Obviously you're trying to win, but like, what was your game plan going into that final round?
Thoughts on my mind were keep it in bounds, which hole 1 literally threw it OB first shot, so that was not ideal. But making the putt to save par, it felt good, and it was kind of like just this like, okay, Paige ain't messing around today. And hole 2 got the birdie CTP. Hole 3 though, like I laid up. I threw my putter just 250 straight ahead and just laid up. I didn't feel comfortable hitting that gap with anything faster. But actually, weirdly, that one got me a stroke as well. Missy had a uncharacteristic bogey on that one with just a tricky lie on her second there. But yeah, then getting the birdie on 5 and 6 with long putt on 5 and just a tap in on 6. I was like, okay, I think I've gotten like 3 back. So I wasn't sure. I didn't check scores, but I was like, I think that was 3 strokes now. So knowing I cut the deficit in half with only through 6 holes, I felt like I was in the driver's seat, and I felt like being in Missy's position in the past many times with a big lead. It's a nerve-wracking place to be in. Like, it's almost worse than being 1 stroke ahead because you feel like this is mine, don't blow it. And that just really weighs on you. So if, those big putts going in and knowing it, I'm putting myself in Missy's head right now, in Missy's shoes, like knowing, okay, my competitor that's behind me has made up half the deficit already and she's making these huge putts. Man, I really got to put my foot down. And it was crazy. It's like it's an all-time memory for me, that final round. So very happy it went my way, but also, just a fun battle to be a part of.
Just to probably wrap up, so momentum, vibes, does any of that carry forward into MVP Open this weekend?
Definitely. I think one is confidence myself. Like in my head, I know I can do it. Even if I'm down by 6 going into the final round, I can do it, right? Recency bias, just remembering that, having that confidence, but also a big part of it is like kind of like a fear factor. Your opponents knowing what you just did, knowing the putts that you were just hitting, if I'm anywhere close, it's kind of putting a little bit extra pressure and nerves on the opponent. So I think it goes from me, but also through them. So I think it definitely helps for sure. Also, having won here many times, I think also somewhat. I know I'm not a Massachusettsian.
I'm not either.
Masshole. Okay. Okay. I know I'm not, but I feel it at heart. You know, I feel that I do have a home court advantage. I really do feel like I hear my name and I feel it.
Yeah, you're welcomed in. Yep.
And I feel that I thrive on that energy. So I would love to jump in that pond. I don't care if it's 20 degrees.
You don't
I
care
am
what it
in.
looks
I'll belly flop into that thing. I'm ready.
Awesome.
So
We needed that rain. I was about to say, I don't know if the pond would have had it, but now it's good. It's filled to the brim because of yesterday.
So we're keeping you a hair longer than I had mentioned to you, but I have a question that is relevant in my mind. Kristen Lott just announced that she is not completing this tour, not next year, and indefinitely. One, what was your reaction when you saw or heard that? And then two, what is your history with those types of thoughts or feelings in your mind? Like, was there ever times where you almost made that announcement?
Yeah, I mean, so first part of your question, what was my thoughts? I mean, the word indefinitely is just so, like, anything permanent is just scary and sad, I guess. If in this sense it's sad, and yeah, it's just it's heartbreaking for all of disc golf. I think anyone that's a fan of Kristen, anyone that's a fan of FPO, and it's sad, you know, to know we're not going to see her hyzer flips or her power sidearms anymore is pretty devastating. But I don't know. I don't know that is as permanent as we take it. I think she's gonna miss it. You know, we all love disc golf so much. Like, she's gonna miss it. She's gonna come back, and it's, you know, maybe not as soon as we would like, but I see her coming back. Maybe not on tour full time or whatever the case may be, but neither is Simon, neither is Sexton, and we still appreciate when they come to the events. So, I was definitely shocked about the entirety of the announcement, but she's the only one that can make the decision what's best for her. And then what was the second part of your question?
Just, has there ever been a time where you were feeling you might make that decision?
Yeah, I guess after I broke my ankle, I didn't think I wanted that or that's what was best for me. But if I had to, you know, what would I do? What do I love besides this? And so I definitely toyed around with the idea of, like, what else makes me happy? What could I do? And not that I felt that was best for me, but if I had to, what would I do? And that was a painful few months for me, but luckily I didn't have to make that decision.
Absolutely. I think that's good, right? We got everything out and a little more. We appreciate your time, Paige, a lot. Good luck this week.
Thank you, guys.
It's pretty cool to see what you're doing out there. Thanks.
Thank you.
All right, Paige Pierce, everybody. All right. We're going to be getting to a version of our show, which is Pop, Drop, Lock. We'll get there. And I think we'd actually like to do it potentially with one of our guests up here. We can kind of do that. We've done that Pop, Drop, Lock review before. We'd like to welcome to the stage. I think you all know who he is. 6-time world champion, Paul McBeth. Thank you, and welcome to the stage, Paul McBeth.
Whoop.
Woo! Our audience keeps growing, so this is pretty cool. So, welcome to Stagger Stance in person and live. I don't know that we've ever had. Oh, we've had you live in a studio back in the days of MVP studios that we had. Dude, I was just talking to Paige, and it's so cool to see these headlines feel like kind of like Paul and Paige win. And I asked you this question: do you think, or in the press conference, do you think you could beat yourself, keep up with yourself of Paul of old? And you kind of, can you just reiterate that, because we captured it on our podcast?
Yeah, I basically said yes, but probably not as consistently right now. That is what I'm lacking right now, is that consistency side, but I feel like I'm trending that direction.
So it's not the skill. So you mentioned a little bit about rating. You said you don't know how much weight to put on that, but like rating wise, you should be able to keep up with yourself. Is that kind of what you were getting at?
Yeah, I think that's, I was saying like how much weight you put on the ratings, because you were asking how the field is now versus back then. And I basically said like if we're going rating for rating, it's almost the same. There's just more people at that level, except for Gannon. The outliner is up there at the 1062 mark right now. So my rating's not up there, but I want it to get up towards that direction, and that's just the consistency side.
Well, welcome back as far as injuries are concerned. It's cool to see what you're doing.
Yeah, so it had been a while since you've had obviously your first win after a year off at Idlewild, and then a second one. So it had been a couple of years since you had a multi-win, because in 23 you had one win. So it's since 2022. Is that a familiar feeling? Like, obviously getting one win was a big deal. We could see the enthusiasm and excitement, but getting a second one, is this like going to build momentum and like continue to like get more wins?
I think that's how it kind of works. You kind of learn how to win and be in those positions. And I could have gone and played some smaller tournaments and, got that feeling. But, the tour is short. There's only, 20 tournaments counting the majors. So I want to be out here competing against the best players. And, so I had this kind of position earlier in the year, but it felt good to close at Idlewild. And you see, it wasn't long after I got another one.
So I'm curious because obviously you didn't really go anywhere in all these years, but there is this sense, it had been a year since you had a win. So there's this kind of built up momentum or in the conversation. From your standpoint, because I'm not sure if the public perception, I'm curious your reaction here, is how much your injury and kind of like body dynamics are actually part of the narrative of Paul McBeth. In other words, if we stripped any of that out, do we see this missed year in 2023, or is that a big part of your story?
Are you saying due to the injury or without the injury?
Yes, due to the injury. Is that like a big part of your story at this point in the later years of your career?
The shoulder one from 2023 was definitely a big one. It's something that where I couldn't lift my arm above my shoulder without pain. And, that's a big thing for putting. That's a really consistent thing. And when you can't put in the reps, you're not going to be very consistent on the putting green. And then throwing the disc was just as hard. This is kind of, when this is hard to do, it's hard to throw a disc. So, I think looking back on it, maybe taking a little bit more time, a couple more months off would have been smarter, but I'm not regretting any decision I had. We had the chess.com Open back then, now Supreme Flight Open. I wanted to come back for that, and I did, but I didn't perform well. And then a year later, you kind of see my results.
Yeah, so we'll react to that later. From my perspective, I don't know how much that was like really talked about in disc golf media and fandom, and that's kind of why I'm asking. Is like that you can't raise your arm. There's a pretty significant impact to your performance, and part of my question is so are you now fully past that, and here you are in 2025 getting wins? So, are we back to the Paul pre-injury? Can we continue to expect this going forward?
I want to play like this. Yes, I want to consistently play like this. Am I as healthy as I was before hurting it? I would say no, not 100%, but I would say it's 85 plus. So
you just won with 85%. That's pretty good.
This is so random. This is such a deep cut, but did that kind of stem cell therapy or whatever you did work? Did that help out a lot?
Yes, I did. I did stem cells. I went and did the stem cell, and I think just taking some more stuff with it that was prescribed from the doctors was definitely the smarter move. So I feel great. I think I didn't want to take the chance of the surgery right away. I want to see how the stem cells worked, and overall, I think I'm good.
He's
cool,
good.
Cool.
He is good. Dude, you made a lot of Circle 2 putts in the last event. I think I was talking to my children, I don't remember who, and I said, it used to be Paul McBeth, I would have argued, as the best putter in the world, at least most clutch. Like, you did it when you needed to and big stuff. Then I felt like Ricky kind of came along, and then Gannon's coming along, but now you just did what you did. Is putting back for you, too? It looked great.
Yeah, and like I mentioned, putting was the hardest thing to do consistently with the repetitions and getting my arm up. So longer ones are still a little bit, on the fence. But I would say, for 50 and in is pretty solid. But, a little bit longer than that, I don't have the same confidence. I don't have the same consistency. And hopefully I can get there. But, I feel like 50 and in I should should be pretty solid with him.
Your buddy's got a question.
Got a question. So the Paul McBeth Foundation brought together the whole disc golf world in a sense. September 20th for the Throw for More. UDisc was able to join in on it, but an awesome move in the charity aspect of disc golf. Can you kind of talk to us a little bit about that hands-on?
Yeah, the Throw for More was a huge success. Our goal was, I think, $15,000 to raise for the foundation, and we hit that goal well before the September 20th date. And after all is said and done, we are just shy of $70,000. So I know it's more than 68, but less than 70. It was incredible. We had a lot of people take up the challenge. I think I said on your podcast of, or my Smashbox, I think it was, about, if anyone wants to do 24 hours of playing disc golf. I think we had 25 plus people do that, which is incredible. Yeah, we're planning on doing it again next year. The success that we had this year, and of course, we always want to do bigger and better the next year. But I believe the date is June 20th next year.
Already set.
There we
Already
go.
set.
Oh, sweet.
And I kind of want to say from our side of things, Staggered Stance, we are one of the crews that were trying to raise money. So we want to shout out to everyone that donated to the Staggered Stance aspect of the Throw for More. And just thank you so much for participating in it as much as you did disc golf wise, but also donations. I know it helps an incredible cause with the Paul McBeth Foundation. I can't wait to see in the future what that does and what you guys are able to do with it.
I think we're ready unless there's something really pressing. We want to involve you in a review of our picks for our game. So the interview portion is kind of done unless we miss something you'd like to talk about. So this game, you may be familiar, maybe you're not. It's just called Pop, Drop, Lock. We pick players that we think are going to overperform on their regular. So like they're going to do really good this week versus their usual. Or they're going to underperform because this course is maybe not their friendly. Or they have an injury. They're going to underperform. Or they're going to lock top 10 or maybe a win. So that's how they play out. So you kind of have that idea. We're literally going to go down. We're going to do you have your picks out and ready to go?
Yep.
All right. So Nick, you got yours? Okay, everyone's got their picks. So we'll start at the end here. We're going to do one at a time. So for the MVP Open, who do you have popping in MPO, Ben?
Let me pull it up. MVP.
I'll go first.
Yeah.
Raven Newsom.
Okay, I got it here.
Raven Newsom has never let me down at MVP.
I was like, every year that's Matt's.
Anybody else pick Raven Newsom? Okay, Nick,
Good
we
pick.
do it often. So here's my analysis of Raven Newsom. If you look at his last three, it's only events at MVP Open. He's never done worse than 12th ever in three of his events, and he's averaging in the mid 40s. So I just had to play the numbers there. What do you think about Raven Newsom, Pop?
He married into the Dodge family.
It's
one
That's
strategy.
it.
That's a
That's
pop.
all you need.
That's a pop.
Raven Dodge. Okay, so you don't have to give your pick. What's your MPO pick?
For Pop,
Yes.
I'm going Ben Callaway.
All right.
That's
Solid
another good
pick.
one.
What's your reasoning for that? And then we'll let Paul review that.
He's a good player. And I hope he plays good.
And
I don't
hope
know.
he
That's
plays
about
good.
it.
What do you think? Maple Hill and Ben Callaway.
I mean, I think Ben's good anywhere. I don't know his average finish.
44, so it's like
yeah, that's a great.
it's
that's
a
great
safe
one.
safe bet. That's why I picked him. He has a lower average.
Okay. Josh, who's
I picked Paul Kranz, who DNF'd last year, but he's just coming off a strong weekend last weekend, local, averaging
Oh,
32.
wow.
Hoping he pops off.
What do you think, Paul?
I like the Kranz pick. He actually switched putters recently, and I think that was a big change
Little
in his
proxy,
game because I don't know if you guys saw last week. He made nearly everything. So
And it's going to be his actual like home of everybody. Like it's going to be really cool. Maybe there's pressure there. Okay, we'll go drop. I'll start again because I did the last one. Jesse Namanen. So he's averaging 38th. I think he doesn't have enough experience at Maple Hill, and I've seen most of his events have been in Europe. So I feel like there's a lot of familiarity. So I feel like it's just that 38. I think he's just going to underperform at Maple Hill. And what do you think? I don't know. It's hard to say.
he's probably going to be closer to a pop.
Oh,
Ooh.
we got to do Paul's picks. We'll just submit them for him. All right, cool. Who do you got dropping?
For drop MVP Open, I'm going James Proctor.
No.
I'm just kidding.
Oh, where
He's
is
just
he?
in
Where
the audience.
James Proctor in the audience.
No. I'm just joking. I'm going Lori Lehtinen. He's averaging 9th because he's not playing a lot of events, so it's just a safe mathematical gamble. He
That's a good pick.
has been playing well though, but he's only played a few events and he's averaged 9th.
Averaging 9th. That's probably a good pick.
Yeah, Lowry, he's a very good player. When he does struggle, it happens to be here in the U.S. So
Yeah, it's just the math.
I
math
picked
works.
the wrong European. Okay, who do you have dropping, Josh? Oh, Nick.
I got Ricky, ankle sprain Rick. So
We don't know if he's
that's
playing.
what I
He might
mean.
not even
I'm
see
kind
it.
of banking
Watch.
on him toughing out. I'm going to watch it tonight. I'm banking on him toughing it out, being a tough athlete, and then just
All right.
maybe not doing well.
Do you want to review that, or do you
I-
have
I-
the same pick?
No.
Oh, okay.
I would say I think that's
What's his average, Nick?
probably good.
Yeah, it's pretty high.
A seventh?
Well,
12.
With this being a playoff, I think he's going to play it. It'd be hard to skip this one and then only the major next, but you also get a week off. So depending on how bad the sprain is, I see him
All right.
trying to play.
What do you got, Josh?
I picked, he's also in the crowd, Anthony Barella.
Anthony
Look,
Barella.
it's just a numbers game because we see, obviously, he could win the event. There's no question he could win. But
What's
also,
his average?
12th. But I just, we see inconsistency. So I could also see a 30th.
So with this game, yeah, what do you think?
I don't think that's a good pick.
No, so
Okay.
with this game, what's hard is they're playing the numbers because they know even if he wins, they only lose a certain amount of points. So it's kind of like they don't actually think he's doing bad. They're playing the numbers. Okay. And then locking. I have anybody else raise your hand. Paul McBeth as a top 10 or a win. Okay, all of us up here. So did we pick bad?
No, you picked great.
Yes.
Yeah.
Hey, although,
I'd
like
pick that too.
last year you finished second.
Yeah.
Behind James Proctor with a pretty epic moment, pretty epic putt.
Proctor putt, baby.
I'm pretty sure we also saw he's repeated that putt in practice rounds, right? So he's locked in. But yeah, we obviously all picked Paul. We're only allowed to pick players to win 5 times a year, but apparently
Yeah,
all
I
saved
would
our
pick
points.
Gannon.
Oh, he would
by
pick.
the
Oh,
way,
come on. All right.
I would, Paul. So obviously I want Gannon to win, but since I can't pick him, I guess
Come on.
you're okay. You're okay. Unless you beat Gannon again and he comes second, then it'll be like we can't have
Nope.
the Paul
Lock is just a straight
Paul
up
win
pick to
and you
win.
come in second.
Got to get top 10.
Lock, you get more points the closer you get to podium. All right. So this is fun having the players around as we make these picks. We're going to move over to FP. And by the way, you can all do this right now before the event starts tomorrow. PopDropLock.com. And the rules are all there. So we're going to move over to FPO. I have popping in FPO Anakin Sten. She averages right now 21. I feel like she's going to do better at Maple Hill.
I agree with that.
Okay.
Yep.
I
What do you got?
have Emily Weatherman popping. She won last year.
What does she average? 22?
23, so
23.
it's definitely a riskier pop, but
Sounds the same as Matt and Nick's.
Yeah.
23 and 22, right?
yeah, it's just with FPO, it's a lot more constrained. Like they pretty much are. It's hard to get points, but it's easier to lose points. If that makes sense.
A lot more consistency there.
Yes, consistency.
Nick
that's
and
what I'm
I
saying.
just we picked Anakin.
Anakin.
Yeah.
Oh, I should have asked
Wow.
about that. So all three of us. Okay. It seems like it's a good pick.
Yeah, this course is very European style, I would say. So I think they'll all feel pretty comfortable here.
So my next drop pick then might be out of place for FPO. I believe it's out of the UK. Was Rachel Turton. She's averaging 9th.
That's who I have.
Same.
Okay, Nick, who'd you pick? Different?
Holland handling.
Okay, we'll come back to that. But Rachel Turton, between the three of us, 9th is a really good place in FPO. And I just, again,
Yeah.
I'm saying because
Just the math.
she doesn't do a lot over here. MVP, Maple Hill. I don't know. Any thoughts? I've never seen her in person.
She's never played U.S. East Coast.
Oh, okay. All right, we're rolling the dice.
Yeah, I don't think that's a bad pick. I don't know how the point systems work and how you said it.
It's literally
but
just 1 point per place different than average. So if
I-
she's 9th,
I can
she
see
gets
her.
15th, you get 6 points.
Okay, yeah, I could see her probably 15ish.
There you go.
10 to
6
15.
points for us.
Like whoever picked you to pop last event got like 12 points because your average is like 13 or I don't know. That's how it works.
Okay. Well, that was easy. You said Hall and Hanley to drop. Explain that, and then Paul gets to react.
Slightly tough conditions coming onto the week. She's playing a little sporadic right now. And this is a course where if you're off early on the tee pad, little slip, you hit early available, you're either out of bounds or you're in a really bad position. So this is just kind of one of those weeks where you really have to be on your game. And she has such a good average right now that I'm just kind of playing the points
5.
right now. Yeah, so 15th, 20th place gets me a pretty good amount of points.
So even if she wins, he only loses 4 points.
Yeah, exactly. That's
Yeah,
the
so
easy part of it.
I think that's kind of Nick's thing is, he's not going to win or lose much with this pick.
Yeah, it's a low
Exactly.
risk. Low risk.
Yeah.
Here I am, and I'm just saying this coming into the last events. I'm like 60 points behind first place of the whole thing. I know. I'll win the round. All right, FPO lock. All right, raise your hands. Missy Gannon. No? All right, I'm alone.
I got Missy.
Oh, you
I
did.
got to change, though. I got to gain strokes on you.
400 points, Ben. It's not worth changing.
Okay, yeah, whatever.
Missy Gannon, I'm picking her because she tends to start playing really she's a good player. But at the end of the season, I asked her this in the press conference. She tends to really she says she likes New England. She's just familiar and locked in at this point. So, Missy Gannon, good pick.
Yeah, she's a New Yorker, so she's not far from here. And, when the money starts to increase, she shows up. So.
True.
All right,
Good
so what do
pick.
we have then? You had Missy.
I'm Missy locking.
All right, Josh.
I have got Owen Scoggins winning. Just obviously playing well. She's played this event 4 times, has finished second. She's never won it.
And she just
She's
hit a
practice putting over there.
She's dialed.
That's who I'm picking.
While Paul's sitting here, Owen's practicing.
Oh.
I've got Paige Pierce winning this event. So I've got Paul and Paige going back-to-back in the playoff events. And then
How much money would you make on an actual bet?
Probably
like that?
plus-
I don't know.
Only
Hopefully
plus
a little money.
500.
knowing me, the second I put money down on something, it's gone. That would be like Paige gets 80th place out of 30 people. That's how bad my luck is with betting. So,
All right.
yeah,
Good
go
pick.
Paige.
Lock. Paige, she does well here.
Yeah, she's been here a lot. She's played here a lot. She's done well here.
Okay, as we get ready to wrap this up, we're in the last minute. Has the curse been broken with Nick and you, like as far as like him tuning into a round? Because I think you won, and I was asking him that.
I stopped asking.
We stopped talking about it, which made it go away.
Exactly.
So it's always funny. Like this past weekend, I'll flip on coverage. Paul starts out 5 for 5 or 6 for 6. I turn on coverage, hole 7, he throws it OB. Or hole 7 on Brewster, he hits a tree. And it's right when I'll text my buddies, be like, oh, McBeth's booling right now. Like he's killing it. And then boom, bogey. And I'm just like, okay, so I can watch. I can watch in person from afar. I've seen him win 2022 Worlds. I've seen him win a few events now, which has been great. But I have to keep it quiet, Can't let anyone talk about it.
Awesome.
But he's
Josh.
staying at the house this week, and
So
hopefully
you definitely weren't watching the last 4 holes of the final round.
No, I watched every bit of it.
Okay,
I did watch every bit of it. I didn't
All
talk about it, though.
Okay,
Just
there you
watched.
go. There
Just
you go.
watched.
Awesome. Josh, do you have anything to close out today?
Nothing specific. Thanks
Okay,
for joining
so
us.
thank you to all who stuck around to listen live in person. We do it often Monday nights, 7 p.m. We talk and interview the greatest players in the world, bring our own takes. We're Staggered Stance. We are presented by TitanDiscGolf.com. You can see the hats on us. Get all your disc needs met with TitanDiscGolf.com. We appreciate them. Yep.
And Hooligan Discs.
Pop Drop Lock, if you'd like to get on that, presented by Hooligan Discs. They're shipping out discs every single week. We're giving away a round with Simon coming up very soon at Maple Hill. Paul, thank you so much for joining. It's awesome to see your successes continued. On another show, I'd like to break down more with the guys, our own takes on like you and others that are doing some incredible things. With that being said, thank you guys, everybody. We're going to check out now. Peace out, everybody.
Woo! Wait, I have one more thing, actually. So my car has a new update. You can talk to AI. And I asked my car, who is the best disc golfer of all time? And the AI, his name's Sal. He's like, well, you see, Ken Climo has a bunch of majors and is the old era, but then we have Paul McBeth, 6 world titles. And then at the end, the AI goes, I'd give the edge to Paul. That's crazy. AI is giving the edge to Paul. There you go.
Thanks, Sal.
Thank you, everybody, for coming out. We appreciate it. Until next time, everybody, peace out.